This still saying what? I am. There ain't no Egyptian saying that in that movie, right? It's still them. But that might be too deep for you to understand. Everybody's them. They're everybody. Huh? They're the ones saying that. They're the ones saying that, and it wasn't no Babylonian. It wasn't no Ethiopian saying it. Was it? It was Esau saying it. You see what I'm saying? So don't get it. That's why people go, oh, that's the Africans. They ain't no Africans. They ain't no Hamites. But they said it, right? You just heard it. We read it, and who said it? They the ones said it. He said it was Pharaoh, but he still was an Edomite. That's it. That's why I say the pollutions of the Gentiles. That's why I say we have not put away from us the ignorance, the gross ignorance that our people are in behind what? The what?
The pollutions of the Gentiles.
The pollutions of the Gentiles. Their mindset. The way they have programmed us to think. So we can only follow the traditions of men. What men? Them. Because they're the ones who, most I say, get me in the darkness. Yeah. You see? And they're the ones that's the superpower of earth at this time. Read.
So wit of the Canaanites.
Now he's naming them. Canaanites, these so-called African nations. Hamites, read.
The Hittites.
Hamites, read.
Perizzites.
Hamites, read.
Jebusites.
Jebusites. Our people think they African. Our people be thinking they come from Africa. Read.
And the Moabites.
Chinese, read.
Egyptians.
All Africans, more Hamites, read.
And Edomites.
And Edomites. There they are right there. He ain't leave them out, did he? That's what we're talking about with Edomites. They're just about earth at this time. So he said, it's a problem that we have because Deuteronomy 7 chapter 3 told us. So it's not only, that's what I say, it's got to be the mindset also of those that's never going to know the Most High, never know about Mashiach Yahushua. So you understand, he says, pollution of the Gentiles. This is what he told us. Now these are so-called African nations that he took down and was mightier than us to give us the land of Canaan, the land of Israel. Look at verse 3 what he told us.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them.
We did this. That's what we're reading about when we was reading in 1 Ezra 8 and 69. You can make a marriage if you come together, how? In the same mind, in the same spirit. You see what I'm saying? Also, he said we ain't supposed to be contracting with them, we ain't supposed to be agreeing with them. Anything that's morally wrong. You understand? That's against what we're reading about in the Most High's laws. If you don't have to, because you're going to be doing what? Sin. You're going to commit sin. Read.
Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
So our daughters are supposed to be given to their sons. Read.
Nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
And we're supposed to let our sons go with their daughters. These other nations, remember the pollution of the Gentiles that they just named? And we look at, when you go into Psalm 83rd chapter, the enemies of the Most High, Edom, Ishmael, these so-called Africans, the Hamites, the Ammon and Moab, Chinese and Japanese, the Syrians. We're supposed to be dealing with these people that's the enemies and the haters of the Most High. Why he tells us not to do it? Read.
For they will turn away thy son from following me.
So you're going to turn away the Most High's son and our sons from following the Most High. From following the Most High. Read.
That they may serve other idols.
We may serve other idols. Read.
So will the anger of the Most High be kindled against you.
The anger of the Most High will be kindled against us. Read.
And destroy thee suddenly.
And destroy us suddenly. So we did this. This is what we did. We just read it in Daniel 9:11. We transgressed the law of the Most High. That's why he came back and told us, get Hosea 4 and 6.
verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
That's why we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why? Because we follow the tradition of men. We try to follow the way of these heathens, these other Gentile nations. Read.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge.
We reject the knowledge, therefore we reject the fear of the Most High. The fear of the Most High is the beginning of knowledge. Proverbs 1:7 all day long, right? So, knowing that, you reject the knowledge to fear me, the Most High, he's saying, read.
I will also reject thee.
So he called us a bunch of rejects. Read.
That thou shalt be no priest to me.
They ain't going to be able to teach this word as it is written. Correctly. Read.
See, thou hast forgotten the law of thy power.
There it is. That's for Israel. See, they have forgotten what?
The law of thy power.
The law that the Most High gave to the children of Israel. You think it's not important? That's why our minds are polluted. It's polluted. Since you have forgotten the law of the Most High, he took the time to give us 613 laws. And you got the nerve to say, we don't have to follow it. So his work is in vain. All the work think about it. He took the time to give us these laws, moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, ceremonial laws, and sacrificial laws, initially. And we're going to just throw it off to the side. That's why he said we're destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because we have forgotten the law that we created. The law, we created the law. It says the law of our power. That's why the Most High, man, it's like, man, we blessed to even be here. That he don't just deal with us, man. He thought enough for us to give himself. Say, I'm your king. Just follow me. Just do what I say. Israel come up with all kind of excuses, man. So like, no, it's a Sabbath. Where's everybody at? That should be, well, that should be learning because they done heard it before. Everybody's held accountable. You can't just say, okay, well, you know, this ain't no sometime thing, man. This is you in it or you're not in it. Most High, my sacrifice, he wants you to be what? Hot or cold? Or cold, man. Be in it, but don't deal with it at all. Because you lukewarm, you swat in your fist, and you look at all these things starting to happen to you. Or it's happening around those that are like that. You be like, man, wow. Don't they get it? Don't you see? Don't you see? This is how you be healed. This is how you be blessed. This is how you see prosperity. This is how you have good success. You see? Because he's in the midst of us. He said it. You see a man he should lie? He gonna repent for what he said? No. So you gotta understand this. We got a power, man, that loves us. He loves us. And he loves us enough to give us his rules and regulations. For us to follow him to do what? If we follow his rules and regulations, we're going to be where as far as the nation is concerned. Huh?
All nations.
Yeah, above all nations where?
On earth.
Upon the earth, right. Upon the earth, man. That's where the nation's at. That's what he said. So, and that's what we're looking at in taking the kingdom. Right? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Don't take a rocket science to figure this out, man. I mean, it's real simple when you understand his principalities that he's bringing forth. That's real simple when you understand this. But people make it so deep because Elijah, Esau got it, so you got to be Elijah and sound and this way and that way. But it's easy. This ain't no hard thing. That's why we go over. You do this, and you see what they have done. We went through it. The Spirit had us go through this. It ain't a program. The Spirit had us go through what we're supposed to do right? And not do right. Then we went to how our world is today. With who's the superpower of the earth today? Esau. Everybody agree with that? So he's doing this thing that's contrary to what? The law. And the Most High says, because you have forgotten the law of thy power. In Hosea 4:6, read.
I will also forget thy children.
He will also forget our children. And that's what the testimony that I heard today, man. Children are being forgotten. All the children that have an opportunity to better themselves in the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding they can't get out of school. Parents are allowing them, the children, to make the decision. The child just want to play some games. You sit there and play video games all day, man. That's hurtful when you think about what the Most High is saying, I'm going to get your children. But see, it's deep when you're looking at it spiritually. The average person say they saying those, they looking at all this bad because they won't come in and learn and do. Look at all, I mean, that's available. Look at the NPCs. You see? That's available for them to learn, but they don't want to. That's why I say, well, forget that children. Children being forgotten about. Verse 7.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
See, as we were increased in number, we sinned against the Most High. Read.
Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
That's why he changed our glory into shame, man. And our glory is our women, man. He changed our glory into shame. The things that I see that these young people are doing right now are very, very shameful. Very, very shameful. Things I see young people doing today, especially young girls, sad. They got STDs, man, that they don't have no cure for. Besides herpes and AIDS, they got a strand of STDs, man, that's like piled up upon each other. Just woo, 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 woo. Because everybody laying with each other in any kind of way, no relationship, no marriages, no commitments. They're just doing all kind of things, man. That's abominable. Yeah.
I mean, it makes me personally, it makes a man like myself. It turns me out. It makes me kind of nervous when if I was to be with a woman,
Yeah.
she have to go get checked. She have to do all kind of. I mean,
Say it louder, right? Because everybody need to hear that.
God, I mean, it makes it harder for a man like myself that I'm a clean man, right? So I'm trying to do the best I can,
Right.
to be with a righteous woman, or a woman that should be in the word.
Right.
But a lot of our women, they're in the world. So it makes it harder for us to find a woman that's, you go think in the back of your mind, like, is she clean?
Right.
Who has she been laying with?
Or how many has she
Or how
laid with?
many has she been laying with? Does she have any diseases on her that, you know what I mean? Like, but that's where I put my faith in the Most High. But it's hard for a man to find a good woman nowadays. Because they're laying up, and they're worse than men nowadays. So they're laying up with whoever.
Yeah, they look at how many men they can lay with, how many men they be with. That's why I say, man. That's why I say you're gonna forget thy children. Verse 8.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 8. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity.
See? They eat up the sin of my people. Why it's always been promoted. We talked about it earlier. How they promote sin upon us, man. Over and over again, because they know that we're rebellious people. We're rebellious. And we don't want to hear the righteous way of how to please the Most High. But how to please ourselves. That's why most people are about themselves. What is this? How is this going to benefit me? Not the Most High. Not about Yahushua. But how it's going to benefit them. That's why people are always concerned about Israel. Or fighting with something going on with Israel. But if you sit down and talk about the Most High, shit, anybody viewing that, they don't want to hear that. Because that ain't them. And they ain't really into him. But you better be into him, because without knowing him, what we saying, you're going to be delivering them 7 troubles. When famine and destruction come, you ain't going to be laughing at nothing. But you're going to be dealing with it. You say men going to be afraid. You say men going to be afraid. Because it's going to be serious. And all of them that's lukewarm, they're going to find themselves, man, in the wrath of Mashiach. This is serious. This is serious as can be. Read Well, Revelation 3 and 15.
Book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
You not what?
That thou art neither cold nor
He
hot.
said you ain't cold or hot. You ain't in this all the way, or you're not dealing with it. Some are not dealing with it the way they should be dealing with it, while being in this, making sure that they take their time just to settle, making sure they take their time to be, just one day a week. You can't give the Most High one day a week, and you want Him to give you something to bless you. That's why I say don't forget our children. We'll be going through all kinds of changes, man. Wonder why this happened, why that happened, because we ain't right. Or our parents weren't right, and here we is suffering. Behind them not knowing, and here we are, part of the curse that we were taught wrong. So we think wrong, you speak wrong, you act wrong, because they didn't know. And didn't care to know, because you tell them now, and where's the overachieving adults of our parents that's coming to learn? That you can sit down and tell this is the truth, and they really taking it in, and now they're Israelite, and not a Gentile. What are they at?
Enjoying their riches in the world.
Yes. That's why I read it from the top again.
Revelation 3:15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
Neither cold nor hot. Read.
I would thou wert cold or hot.
He said we should be cold or hot. What he's saying, hey, be in this all the way. You can't be faking. Don't be faking this. This ain't nothing to fake. Because the Most High said, hey, his eyes are what? 10,000 times brighter than what? Than the sun, man. He said rather be in this all the way or don't be in it. Don't deal with it. Read.
So then, because thou art lukewarm,
Because you lukewarm, you in sometime and you out in it, you don't know which way to go. You an Israelite today, but tomorrow you're gonna be back to the world. You know what I mean? Whatever day you are, but whoever the world knows you as. And the world don't know you as an Israelite, right? So you back to that world. World as a Gentile. Really, world of a Gentile, because you're not an Israelite every day, so because you ain't hot every day. That's why I say rather be hot, be in this all the way, or be cold. Leave it alone. He said, well, what did he say? Verse 16.
so that because thou art lukewarm, and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
He said he's going to spew you out of his mouth. You don't want to get 2 Corinthians 13 to 10. You don't want to be hot with what's going to come out of his mouth. Being lukewarm, you faking it. You think you're in this all the way, but you're not. This will come out of his mouth. That's why I say he's going to spew you out of his mouth. This will come out of his mouth. Let's read.
2 Ezra, chapter 13, verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests.
What's coming out of his mouth for those that's lukewarm, playing around with this? Go ahead.
And they were all mixed
They
together.
were all mixed together. What was mixed together?
The blast of fire,
Blast of fire, read.
the flaming breath,
Flaming breath coming out of his mouth, read.
and the great tempest,
And the great tempest. What's going to happen, read?
and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
Yeah, because a lot of people fighting against him and not coming back to what he said do. His laws, statutes, commandments. Read.
And burned them up.
What are you going to do?
Burned them
He's
up.
going to burn them up. Read.
Everyone.
Every one of them. Read.
So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke.
Only dust and smell of smoke. That's the only thing that we perceive. burnt up bodies for being lukewarm. Read.
When I saw this, I was afraid.
He saw that he was afraid. This Psalms 37 and 20. When he saw it, he was afraid. It scared him.
Psalm chapter 37, verse 20. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Most High shall be at the fat of
It's
lambs.
going to be like a great sacrifice, man. 2/3 of our people that's going to hit him. That's why I say he whether for us to be hot or cold. Because remember, the ones that's cold, they're going to get more stripes than us that know.
The hot.
But those that are lukewarm, he already said he's going to consume them in the fire. Let's read about it, read. Because they wicked. Because read what he's saying is, hey, sometimes you follow what I tell you to do, and sometimes you're not. Those that don't know have more credence to the Most High than those that do know, because they haven't been called yet. Some are cold because they don't know, you know. But we're hot. We're supposed to be hot because he thought enough for us to call us, to have an opportunity to be his chosen. Can't take this for granted, though. Read.
They shall consume. Into smoke shall they consume away.
See? And the smoke shall they consume away. That's why I get Jeremiah 10 and 2. You can read one, just to let you know what's talking to you. That's what he told us.
Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
He's speaking to the children of Israel. We, the 12 tribes of Israel. Speaking to us, what he said.
Thus saith the Most High, learn not the way of the
He
heathen.
said, don't learn the way of the heathen. That's all we need, that little. He said, don't learn the way of the heathen. But what do? We learn the way of the heathen. Psalms 106 and 35. That's what we did.
Psalms 106, verse 35. But were mingled among the heathen.
We were mingled among these other nations as the children of Israel.